Stop right here. Don't even think about skipping. You are radiating a brilliance that cannot be overlooked. Those who doubted you, they're watching in silence now, powerless to deny the strength you carry. They were never meant to walk in your light, and now they stand in the shadows, witnessing the power they underestimated. Your journey is yours alone, built by your resilience and unstoppable success. This is your moment. Don't turn away. You stand at the center of a stage so brilliant, it blinds anyone who comes too close. The heat of your rise scorched those who once doubted you, searing their pride as they retreated to the shadows. They can't stand beside you now, their presence unworthy of your light. Their fate? To watch from the balcony, far removed from the pulse of your triumph, tethered to the sidelines of your glory. They wanted to share your spotlight, bask in your ascent, but the choices they made barred them from ever stepping foot in your circle again. Their betrayal and doubt were the anchors that sank them, dragging them down while you ascended higher. Now they look up at you, their vision filled with what they dismissed or underestimated. Your path was always destined to lead you to this point, not because of some fleeting stroke of luck, but because you carved it with deliberate precision. You bled for this. Every misstep they threw your way became the stones that paved your route to success. Every whisper behind your back became the fuel to ignite the fire burning inside you, a fire so fierce that now it threatens to set the whole world alight. They sit above you now, far enough to watch, but too distant to ever participate. They remain perched in the darkness, tethered to their choices, their view distorted by the raw envy that now gnaws at them. They once believed you were on equal ground. They once thought they could control the outcome. Now, all they see is the blinding glow of your achievements, and it disorients them, revealing how small they've become in the vastness of your success. Their hearts race, but they cannot act. Their minds churn, but they cannot change the past. While they sit bound by their self-imposed limitations, you are free. Free from their opinions, free from the weight of their judgment. Free to soar, to dance in the space where they once hoped to stand. But they will never stand beside you now. Their time is gone, their chapter closed. The spotlight is yours, and they can only watch from a distance. They thought they would bask in your light, perhaps even claim some of it for themselves. But what they failed to understand is that your light is not something they could ever possess or share. It is born of struggle, of wounds they could never heal from, because they never endured them. It comes from within you, an unstoppable force no one can steal. They are no more than spectators now, their influence diminished to a mere whisper in the crowd, unheard and irrelevant. What they once saw as their triumph, your exclusion, has become their sentence. Their role is now limited to one of silent observation, stuck in the shadows of the balcony, reduced to faceless spectators. As they watch your every move, the reality sets in. They are no longer part of your world. They were never meant to be. The distance between you and them will only grow. Just as the brilliance of your success continues to blaze, impossible for them to reach. You stand in a light so radiant that it exposes every hidden flaw of those around you. This light is not yours alone. It is the hand of God, pulling you forward while pushing others away. They tried to walk alongside you, tried to cloak themselves in the same favor, but their actions made them unworthy. They spoke against you in secret, doubted your path, betrayed your trust. Now they are spectators, their hands too weak to grasp the opportunities laid out before you. Their attempts to remain beside you have failed because their intentions were always tainted, their motives never pure. God's judgment is not clouded by their deceit or excuses. He saw through every false word, every hidden motive, every whisper meant to bring you down. These people were disqualified not by accident, but by divine decision. Their mindset was always limited, anchored in their inability to see what you were truly capable of. They doubted the very gifts that God Himself placed within you. Their hearts were filled with envy, their actions guided by selfish ambition, and their rejection of you was a rejection of what God had ordained. So now they sit in the audience, forced to witness what they could never comprehend, your elevation. You were never meant to carry everyone with you. God chose you for this season of elevation, and in doing so, he chose who could stand beside you. It was not your task to decide. It was divine intervention. These people didn't make the cut, and it wasn't a mistake. Their betrayal was part of their own undoing. Their lies, the chains that bind them to the shadows. They thought they could manipulate the outcome, that by rejecting you, they could control your destiny. But their rejection was a catalyst, setting into motion the very path that led to your rise. God does not forget. Every wound they inflicted, every moment of doubt they sowed, he saw it all. And now, he lifts you higher, while they are left behind, watching from afar. They believed they could sow discord and still reap the benefits of your success, but divine separation does not allow for such contradictions. They are outsiders now, their distance from you growing with every step you take toward the purpose God has laid out for you. They were never part of this plan, and now they are forced to watch as you ascend to a place they can no longer reach. Their disqualification was inevitable. Their hearts were never aligned with your vision, and their actions revealed their true nature. God's plan was always clear. You were set apart, and not everyone was meant to come with you. Their rejection of you was never a loss. It was a revelation of their inability to stand in the light God has shone upon you. Now, as you rise, they remain trapped in the shadows of their own choices, mere spectators to a story they thought they could control. You ascend, not by chance, but by divine design. Their lies, betrayal, and rejection have secured their place in the audience, watching as you fulfill the purpose they could never understand. God has drawn a line, separating those who were for you from those who were never meant to walk beside you. They didn't make the cut, and now they must witness what they were never worthy to experience firsthand. The light you carry now is undeniable, blazing with a force so powerful it can't be hidden. You were never meant to blend into the shadows, to shrink or diminish your radiance. This is your season, a moment etched in divine timing, where your purpose and potential are laid bare for the world to see. You are chosen, not by chance or by human hands, but by God's deliberate design. He has crafted this moment for you, elevating you above the doubts and betrayals that once threatened to drown you. The people who once stood against you, who whispered behind your back, who tried to hinder your progress, they will bear witness to your rise, but they will never partake in it. Your ascent is too great for them to touch, too divine for their hands to grasp. They can no longer affect you. While they scheme in the shadows, the light God has placed upon you is so brilliant that their efforts to pull you down vanish before they can even reach you. The brightness of your calling blinds you to their petty attempts. You won't see them, won't feel their presence, because they are not strong enough to dim the glory that surrounds you. What they once thought would break you has only fueled your elevation. They are forced to remain at a distance, spectators to a stage they will never stand on. God's light on you is not just bright, it is blinding. It renders you immune to their negativity, their envy, their bitterness. The very power that radiates from you is enough to keep you soaring above their reach. They thought their actions, their lies, and their betrayals would weaken you, but instead, it has become the very fuel that propels you higher. Your enemies will watch you thrive, but their presence is meaningless, a distant noise drowned out by the overwhelming sound of your victory. You don't need to acknowledge them, for they are irrelevant in the face of what God has destined for you. You are walking in a light so powerful that it erases the darkness they carry with them. It doesn't touch you. It cannot taint you. The shadows of their efforts to pull you down are burned away by the fire of your purpose. This is not a season of conflict. It is a season of absolute clarity, where their voices, their presence, and their attempts to harm you fade into insignificance. They will watch, helpless, as you continue to rise, a silent witness to your greatness. Their power over you was an illusion, shattered the moment God placed His hand on your life and set you apart. You don't have to defend yourself. You don't have to prove anything. Your very existence, illuminated by divine favor, speaks louder than any defense you could offer. God's light on you is your shield, your weapon, your protector. It deflects every attack, every insult, every effort to pull you back. And because of this, you will not be shaken. You will not be moved. Those who sought to harm you are now powerless, mere spectators in the grand arena of your success. Let them watch. Let them feel the weight of their own distance. For they are now forever relegated to the sidelines as you stand in the center of the stage that was always meant for you. But let's be clear. The forces working against us are relentless. YouTube's algorithm is rigged against the truth we're speaking. The machine wants to suppress us, keep our light from reaching the chosen ones who need it most. And it doesn't stop there. These copycat channels, trying to imitate what we do without understanding the power behind it, are part of the same system. They want to siphon our energy and diminish our voice, but we won't let that happen. These are archonic forces designed to keep you from claiming your full power. This isn't just about me, it's about you. They don't fear me. They fear what will happen when you fully step into your divine purpose. That's why they're trying to silence us. We're just the canary in the coal mine, and they know that they must silence me in order to get to you. But they can't stop us as long as we stand together. The Obsidian Inner Order is here to protect the light we carry, and we need you in this fight. Your power is part of our rise, and together, we are unstoppable. When you join the Obsidian Inner Order, you're not just supporting us. You're stepping into a fortress of light and truth, surrounded by warriors who, like you, are ready to push back against the darkness. You'll gain access to exclusive videos, uncensored by the algorithm, direct access to the creators of Obsidian, and pre-release chapters of modern manifestation mechanics. Sacred knowledge they don't want you to have. This is how we rise, armed with the truth they fear. We're a small team fighting against an enormous machine, but your support gives us the fuel to keep fighting. The link to our Patreon is in the description, and every pledge makes a difference. If you felt the power of these messages, if you know the light we're carrying is real, join us in the Star Chamber. Together, we are not just surviving, we are rising, and with your help, we will shine brighter than they ever expected. This is a battle for the truth, and only by standing together can we keep the flame alive. The ones who tried to undermine you, who dismissed your worth with cold rejection, are now cast out to the margins, watching helplessly as you rise beyond their reach. They cannot join you in this place of glory, because their betrayal built the walls that now separate them from your triumph. What they once believed to be their power over you has crumbled, revealing nothing but the truth of their own limitations. They tried to speak against you, to weaken your spirit, but their words were powerless in the face of your destiny. Their rejection became the wind at your back, propelling you forward with a force they could never comprehend. Now, as you stand in your purpose, they are nothing more than distant observers. They see your glory, the brilliance of your achievements shining so brightly that it stings their eyes. They thought they could contain you, but their hands were never strong enough to hold what was always meant to soar. They are bound to their place on the sidelines, doomed to watch from afar as you claim the victory that was never theirs to share. They had their chance, but their actions disqualified them from ever stepping onto this stage. God has seen it all, the rejection, the lies, the betrayal, and it is He who will carry out justice, not by your hands but by His. Vengeance is not yours to take, nor is it necessary for you to dwell on their downfall. Their fate is already sealed. God's divine judgment will weigh upon them, and they will feel the heavy burden of their own choices. Guilt will hang around their necks like a chain. Regret will follow them like a shadow, and the consequences of their actions will unfold in ways they never anticipated. But this is not your concern anymore. Your focus is not on their downfall, but on your ascent. You do not need to carry the weight of their sins against you. The burden of vengeance is not yours to bear. What they sowed, they will reap, but your hands remain clean. They tried to wound you, but the wounds they inflicted have healed into scars of resilience, marks of strength. You owe them nothing. The power they thought they had over you has evaporated, leaving them to face the truth of their own emptiness. The stage they thought they controlled is now yours alone, and they are condemned to watch from the darkness as you shine in the light they can no longer touch. God's light on you is so brilliant that their efforts to pull you down are meaningless. They are spectators to their own regret, haunted by what they could have been, but never will be. Their guilt is their companion, and their downfall is inevitable, but you will not be there to witness it. Your eyes are set on higher things, on the calling that pulls you ever upward. Let them linger in the shadows of their own making while you ascend, untouched by their negativity, unbothered by their regret. They will see your glory, but they will never share in it. God has separated you from them, and in that separation, you are free. Free to rise, free to shine, free from the weight of their betrayal forever. Your focus must remain unshaken, fixed solely on the mission that God has carved out for you. The weight of your calling is too great to be distracted by the voices of the past or the fleeting validation of others. What lies behind you is irrelevant now, a distant echo fading into insignificance as you rise into the destiny God has already set in motion. Every betrayal, every rejection, was part of the pruning process, cutting away the dead branches that could not grow with you into this season of elevation. It is not your task to hold on to what no longer serves you. You are being called higher, and the altitude where you now ascend requires a clarity and singular focus that cannot afford to be clouded by distractions or misguided loyalties. This is not a time to chase relationships or seek approval from those who never understood your purpose. Their role in your life is ended, and holding on to them would only drag you down. You are not here to convince anyone of your worth, nor to beg for acceptance from people whose vision is too limited to see the vastness of what you are becoming. Your calling transcends human opinions. It is divine, etched into the fabric of your very being by the hand of God. Validation from man is a hollow pursuit when you carry the approval of the Almighty. You were never meant to blend in, and so you must stop seeking comfort in places where you were never meant to fit. God's light is on you, guiding your every step toward the fulfillment of a purpose so much greater than the fleeting connections of this world. As you step fully into your calling, you will find that God is aligning you with those who are meant to walk beside you in this new season. These are not the ones who once doubted or betrayed you, but those who have been divinely appointed to stand with you. These are the people who carry the same light, who understand the magnitude of your purpose because they too are walking in theirs. They do not seek to take from your light, but to add to it, to stand as equals in the radiant glow of God's favor. The stage you are stepping onto is not one to be shared with those who have not earned the right to be there. Not everyone deserves to be in your circle, and that is part of the divine separation. The people who are meant to be with you now are those who have proven their loyalty, their faith, and their purpose. They are not coming to dim your shine or to pull you into the shadows. They are here to walk with you, to stand beside you as equals in the glory that God has poured out. Let go of the past. Let go of the need for validation. Your purpose is too great to be weighed down by those who cannot grasp its significance. God is bringing you into a season of divine connections, with people who are aligned with the same mission, the same vision, and the same unwavering dedication to fulfilling their God-given destiny. They will rise with you, not because of what you can give them, but because they too are chosen. In this season, your elevation will be shared with those who are worthy, and together you will fulfill what God has set before you. God, in His infinite wisdom, concealed your true value from those who would have drained your spirit and manipulated your gifts. He saw their intentions long before they acted and shielded your brilliance from their opportunistic grasp. What they thought was weakness in you was actually divine protection. They couldn't recognize your worth because their hearts were never aligned with the magnitude of your purpose. Now they stand on the outside, watching as you rise, regretting that they never truly saw who you were. But their blindness was part of the plan. God hid you, not to diminish you, but to preserve the purity of your calling, ensuring that only those meant to walk with you would be able to see your true light. This light, now revealed in all its brilliance, draws attention like the sun breaking through a storm. It illuminates every corner of your life, attracting eyes both favorable and envious. Some come to support, but others are drawn to it with the intent to exploit or diminish what God has placed within you. But here too, God protects. He sharpens your discernment, giving you the ability to see through the false intentions of those who approach. The brightness you carry cannot be extinguished by the wrong people, but their presence can drain your energy if allowed too close. That is why discernment is your shield, filtering out those who are not meant to walk with you in this season of elevation. There will be those who look at you now and wonder why they were kept at a distance. They will question why they were not allowed into your circle, failing to understand that God was the gatekeeper all along. He knew their motives, their hidden agendas, long before you did. And in His mercy, He spared you from the weight of their manipulation. They cannot touch you now. Their regret is a consequence of their own blindness, and it is not yours to carry. Their voices will grow faint, and their efforts to approach will fall flat, for God has surrounded you with an impenetrable barrier of protection. They can watch, but they cannot enter. The attention your light attracts will be both a blessing and a test. But God has already equipped you with the wisdom to navigate it. The right people, those who recognize the divine purpose in you, will be drawn closer, not to take from you, but to add to the collective brilliance of God's work. They will strengthen you, and in turn, you will strengthen them. Together, you will walk in the fullness of God's plan. But the wrong ones will be kept at bay, frustrated by their inability to manipulate what they do not understand. The light on you blinds them, exposes their intentions, and forces them to retreat into the shadows. This is God's plan, to elevate you without allowing harm to come near. He has already sorted those who are meant to walk with you from those who sought only to drain your strength. Your discernment is the sword that cuts through falsehood, leaving you surrounded by those who are worthy of your light. You are standing exactly where you were meant to be, positioned in the fullness of your purpose, unstoppable in your ascent. God has already dealt with those who sought to undermine you. They are powerless now, confined to the balcony, watching as your brilliance unfolds. Their doubt, their betrayal, and their attempts to pull you down have only strengthened the light you now carry. Their voices are distant echoes, lost in the vastness of your success. They no longer matter. Your path is clear, illuminated by divine favor. The distractions of the past, the noise of your detractors, are irrelevant. Keep your eyes forward, fixed on the mission that has been placed in your hands. God is lifting you to heights they cannot reach, separating you from the darkness that once tried to cling to your feet. Let them watch. Their role is to observe from afar while you rise higher, untouchable and unwavering. Now is the time to own your story, to walk fully in your calling without hesitation. Share the truth of your elevation and let your voice be heard. Your journey is not just for you, it is a testament to the power of resilience and purpose. Speak boldly, and let others see that they too can rise, no matter who tries to stand in their way. Your story is proof that God's favor is undeniable, and the doubters will forever remain in the balcony, watching you rise. But remember, this isn't just a personal battle. It's a fight for the light of humanity itself. The archonic forces that seek to subjugate the chosen ones are also working to control the world. To stay in this fight, we need your strength, your voice, and your support. Joining the Obsidian Inner Order ensures that together we rise above these forces. The link to join is in the description. Your support keeps this mission alive and ensures that we keep pushing forward. Thank you for walking this path with us. Your courage and light are what fuel this movement. Together we stand tall, unshaken, and victorious. Stay bold, stay strong, and know that you are seen, valued, and called for something greater.